Hi, hello, welcome. Welcome back to another Onkruid video. Welcome back to another unedited Soulstone Survivors run. Playing with the upgraded Barbarian yet again, because we still have to achieve that little star mark below his name. Get him to level 10. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they are going to do with it, and I'm also looking forward to the curse system, because as you may have noticed, for the last presumably almost 20 episodes or something, we have just never lost a run anymore. I think in my first episode I probably, or maybe the first two, maybe first three, I don't even remember because it's been almost a month ago by now. I probably lost some runs still in this game, but for now we have lost jack shit. Let's go for a little bleed build. We're just all about having fun, we're not about speedrunning. 7:30 or 7:35, whatever my fastest time is probably going to be the best attempt I have. And you know what else is something I am every night attempting, but that does go well instead of speedrunning? Pardon me, attempting to go to sleep. And now I hear you saying, what the hell is this guy talking about? Because everybody, of course, attempts to fall asleep. But I think falling asleep is actually one of my skills. It's one of my talents, as crazy as that might sound. I can just fall asleep in an instant. As soon as my head, the atoms of my temple touch the little fabric of space and time that consists of my pillow, I drift off. I'm gone. You won't find me again. We're gonna take everything we can to make this double slash as powerful as possible. Bleeding and double slash, that's exactly what this build is gonna be focused on. The double slash enjoyer, the based double slash enjoyer, Leviathan. I'm gonna focus everything on this double slash. And yeah, falling asleep is something I'm really good at, to the annoyance of my girlfriends, because snoring is... did I just say girlfriends? I'm sorry, I mean girlfriend. I'm not that big of a player, you know? I'm gonna try to make double slash our only damaging ability, so this video is probably gonna take a while. To the annoyance of my singular girlfriend, because my other girlfriends don't really care about it all that much, but the one you guys know about, Charlotte, she doesn't quite like that, and that is because snoring is another one of my famous talents. I'm really good at snoring. I'm a proficient snorer, and she doesn't enjoy that all that often, which is of course... yeah, quite understandable, but I just can't help it. I fall asleep so quickly. And what has helped me throughout the years is developing these little habits before I go to sleep that really help my mind to realize through classical conditioning, through learning actually, that like, alright, now it's time to sleep. Once you close your eyes now, it's time to drift away into dreamland. Dream about that encyclopedia of sea urchins and sea cucumbers you were actually talking about in a couple of videos ago. No, I don't want multicast on my poison bolts. I want frailty. I want my double slash to be more powerful. I want to get rid of this poison bolt as quick as possible. What are some of those habits, you might ask? Sure. Some of those habits are watching a video before I put my cell phone away, so that already calms me down a lot. And then listening to something while I fall asleep as well. Most of the time, it used to be Northernlion in the past. I would listen to The Binding of Isaac runs. I would listen to his Super Autopets videos. Now I'm listening to, most of the time I'm listening to his, his React Court videos, where he looks at the I am an asshole subreddit and reads some story from that and gives his reaction on that. Or it could be also one of his Sporkle videos, but either way, my brain knows that as soon as I hear his voice, it's almost time to take a nap. And my body kind of prepares. I don't want any of these skills. Get rid of this. No, get rid of this. No, get rid of this. Let's go for Chaos Bomb for now, but I want to replace it desperately, quickly. My body knows, like, alright, in this context, this message, these noises, this voice tells me that it's about time to go to sleep. And it really helps out. I've just hacked my brain a little bit, you know? I've hacked my brain. And if that doesn't work, I used to listen to some white noise maybe sometimes, but what also always helps to put me to sleep is just listening to a university lecture by someone. These are also damaging skills, but Void might be a bit less damaging than Poison Bolt, and it's gonna help stack our double slash onto targets. And all those things just make it so that I can fall asleep quickly as hell. And it's also something that can happen in multiple different contexts. Ask your mom, for example. Wherever we have sex together, I can fall asleep next to her every single time. No, that's a low ball. That's a hit below the belt. I'm sorry about that. I don't want this firebolt. Multicast legendary power, sure. We will be slashing and dashing through here. But either way though, yeah, it's just one of my talents. And I'm very grateful for it. I also sometimes sleep without a pillow. It's something I can do. But sometimes it's also just something that I choose to do. I just picked a void upgrade, which is something I didn't really want to do. But either way, I digress. Sometimes I choose to sleep without a pillow. I just find it more relaxing. I find that sleep position more appealing, of my head just being like, straight back. I don't know why. Maybe I'm weird. Or maybe you're all like, yeah, of course, we all do that as well. And that makes me less weird. Or maybe we're all just a little weird. I do think that every single person is just a little weird in his own right, right? I don't think that's like this newly discovered, amazing discovery by me. I think that a whole lot of people have realized this already, that everybody is a little bit weird on their own little way. But either way though, it's something you should keep in mind. Especially something you should keep in mind when somebody tells you about something they do and you react in a way like, wow, you're so crazy, I would never do that. Just realize that everybody's a little weird. Everybody has their own little quirks and personality traits that of course differ from you. If you would all be exactly the same person, the world would be a bit lackluster. It would be a bit of a more boring place. Almost as boring as my YouTube videos. Ayo, self-burn, self-deprivation, self-loathing humor, we all love that. Especially the British people love that, of course. That's something we studied while in high school once. It's something I remember for some reason, that British humor is most of the time, or not most of the time, but it's more often than American humor, for example, self-loathing. Making fun of themselves. And it's something I definitely like to do as well, because it can really lower the boundaries of conversation when you're talking to someone. If you make a joke at the expense of yourself, you know, because they can be like, wow, this guy is so confident that he doesn't mind making fun of himself. Is it confidence, or is it just hacking social conversations? I am an advanced species. I am an advanced example of the Homo sapien species. I have hacked my own brain to fall asleep. I have hacked social conversations. One thing I did not hack yet though is computer programs. It's something that interested me a while ago, but it was just more programming in general instead of hacking. And it's something that Edward Snowden has also inspired me to look into maybe in the future, because of the things he writes in his book Permanent Record about him at every single job he had, just writing a couple of simple scripts that helped him do his work. So he wrote a couple of simple scripts that actually kind of did the work that he normally had to do for him. And I think that's a beautiful application of your knowledge of computers. And I think it's something I will definitely be able to use in the future, maybe possibly. If I would have a script that could automatically add a random intro to my videos, for example, because if you have never noticed this before, the logo of my Onkruid channel, the beautiful artwork by Dmitry Sirienko, I don't know for sure, I'm very sorry. The beautiful artwork is always spinning and moving across the screen in a different manner, because I have to manually keyframe it every single time. Same goes for the background of a guy pouring in coffee. If I could write a script for that to be randomized and then the blur effect to be applied in the background, and just like the introduction overlay on my videos being applied without me having to put any effort into it, that would save me a bunch of time. Not immense heaps of time, but it would save me a bunch of time. And that's something very pleasant. Although figuring an intricate script out like that includes the DaVinci Resolve API then to do it, is probably going to be way harder than I can possibly imagine right now. Either way though, it's just cool. It's cool that you are like, hey, I have to do this really lackluster task, this annoying task all the time. Can I not just make it automatic? And you then develop a little program, a little script in Python or JavaScript or whatever you want to write it in, maybe even in Godot if you want to make it into a game. And you just have your world automated around you. Although you of course also do not want to become lazy, that's for sure. You don't want to do that, and that's something that I have been a bit worried about lately, now that me and my girlfriend have been ordering our groceries online so often. We have a great store chain here in the Dutch countries, in Belgium and in the Netherlands, called Albert Heijn. And they actually deliver the groceries to your door if you live in certain regions. And the region where I live right now, where we live together here, is one of those regions, and we've used it a bunch of times in the past already, and we're using it steadily more often. And that is because it's just very handy. They come with a truck and they deliver the groceries right at your doorstep. But doesn't that make us a bit lazy? Isn't this leaning closely to some of the dystopian, futuristic worlds some sci-fi authors might write about? Where we just... aren't we evolving into Wall-E creatures? That's what I'm getting at. Are we like 3 steps away of sitting in a floating chair for the entirety of our life and having to leave the world because everybody is too fat because they never walk around anymore because they have their groceries delivered to their doorstep? It's something that plagues my mind, but that I shouldn't worry about all that much because, of course, I mean, it's just easy. It's just for ease of use, and I shouldn't find anything else. I shouldn't find anything wrong with it or try to find anything wrong with it. And I think it's, at least... we are, you know, it's also better for the environment, maybe, if we would all coordinate it so that everybody would just get their groceries delivered by a truck. Because right now, everybody is, of course, just driving their own cars, or sometimes the bike. That's, of course, also more beneficial for the environment, but driving their own car to the grocery store, do shopping for themselves and no one else, and that means that everybody has to drive around and has to put carbon dioxide into our little ozone layer right here, create a nice little hole in there just because they need to go get some olives, some breadsticks, some hummus because they have guests over. No, you know, if we would all order our groceries and just one truck could be used to deliver them to an entire street, maybe that would be more beneficial. Although I'm no expert on the subject, and maybe the exhausts of a truck are way more damaging for the environment and our world than the 20 separate cars are for one street. I'm not sure about that. Either way, I know that my mom, since COVID started, and I think she still does it now, even though COVID is over, has started doing the groceries for my grandfather as well, for her father. And it's also a nice step in this in the good direction, of course. It's the same with carpooling, huh? If you are going to the same location, why not just carpool? Take the car together. It's great for the environment, and you get some social interaction out of it as well, which is of course also beneficial for mental health, physical health, for everything in your life. We are our connections. I'm not going to talk about it for 4 videos in a row, but I just have really been into podcasts lately, and the subjects in those podcasts keep circling around my mind, so that's all I can talk about. Which is kind of a false statement, because as you realized in this video yet again, once my ramble train starts going, it just doesn't stop. Do we get level 10? Yes, we do. This means that we will now get to 2 stars with every single character, but I will switch it up now and play with the Pyromancer up until 2 stars again, and then go back to the Barbarian, and then we can 3-star all of them. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.